Welcome everyone back to Harsher, who's brought to you by Unapologetic Sports Network. I am Anthony. That is my co-host McCaven. McCaven, how you feeling today?
Man, uh, doing all right, but crazy week here in the NBA.
Yeah, it's crazy because the right when the Knicks won the championship, everyone in New York is celebrating this down third. And part of me as a fan is like, man, the season's over. But really, a lot of other teams, they're like, all right, our season just started now.
Mhm.
As a Sun or not Suns, as a Rockets fan, I haven't seen my team play basketball in like 2 months. You haven't seen your team play in about 2 months, and a lot of fans, have been really excited over the last few days for the draft because they haven't seen their team play since April. You know what I mean? But teams are making moves already. Honestly, have you seen like, and maybe it's happened before? Have you seen like teams make all these trades, like this many trades and stuff before the actual offseason actually start?
Well, I can't remember, but this is what is to be expected. Just because free agency, I won't be surprised. I mean, it'll always be a thing, but I wonder if the league is going to have a free agency problem in the future, just because I mean, free agency is going to become, I mean, almost just non-existent, especially for star players, just because they're always going to get that extension. Normally, star players don't, play to the end of their contract and then just enter free agency on their own. They always have an extension, and then they'll get traded. So, but no, I can't remember any kind of I don't know, but I think you'll see this more often moving forward.
Yeah, it's something that honestly is like you kind of if you think back a few years ago, you could see something like this happening in the current day, where it's like the Kevin Durant thing. A lot of people say it ruined the NBA. The future of the NBA, but honestly, I mean, maybe it did ruin it. I don't know, but it definitely has set things up to where teams aren't letting like the OKC won't let something like that happen again. Other teams will
Hmm.
be like, if we got a Kevin Durant type of player in our team, we're not letting them walk out for nothing. We're going to get something out of this.
Hmm.
Um, Now, sometimes the something isn't really that much. We will talk about that because a few of these trades and moves ain't been much. But the off season has officially started. Now, as far as the draft go, me personally, I've had a lot going on. I have not really watched. I mean, I know what happened in the first few picks. Everything went kind of as planned. I didn't think anything crazy was like, whoa, that's a crazy move for that team. Um, did you have any thoughts on the? I'll let's just stick with the first round of draft. Matter of fact, well, okay, we'll get to that. What was your thoughts on where the players went? They go how you thought it was going to go.
No, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a shakeup. I thought Darren Peterson from Kansas was going to go number one. Um, was just with, but I understand what Washington is thinking and the group that they're trying to put together. Peterson didn't really fit that style because, especially since they already have Trey Young for their point guard. But it really just depends on, as an organization, what you plan to do with him. Some people say he's a point guard. Some people say he's a two guard. So it just depends.
I don't see a point guard. I can
I
see
don't see one either.
if anything, which I haven't watched like immense film on him or anything like that. If anything, he's gonna be like an Anthony Edwards, where it's like, okay, he is a shooting guard, but if he's our best ball handler and shot creator, he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot. That pseudo point guard thing, which eventually teams are gonna learn that doesn't work. The
Yeah.
Timberwolves figured out it doesn't work, but we will get into that. Speaking of the Wizards, though, um, they did give Trey Young a 4-year, $212 million contract. How did you feel about that?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. A lot of people, I know, a lot of people, feel a certain type of way about that contract. I'm fine with that contract. Trey Young he's done something in this league before, so he's definitely earned that money. Uh, Especially with the team, I think in this upcoming, I think barring any crazy health issues, Washington's going to have a complete flip of their season. They're going to be, I mean, I think they're a lock for the playoffs, barring any health. barring any health injury or any health, stuff with Anthony Davis and Trey Young, and even AJ DeMonta. They're a lock for the playoffs. I'll stand by that. Like that team, they have a good group of guys. So um, yeah, I'm fine with that contract. You gotta lock in your point guard. I see what they're trying to do, the team that they're trying to put together, and I agree with it. The only question that they have is just can Anthony Davis and Trey Young stay healthy? If they can, you're like I said, they're a lock.
See, I'm not sure. I mean, I have a few opinions on some teams, based on what's happened so far in the offseason, but obviously there's a whole lot more offseason to go. Um, do I think they will be a playoff team? Like, because a lock means they gotta get top six,
Yeah,
without playing.
that's easy.
Do I see them getting top six without the play in? Hmm. That's tough to say as of right now. And I know you said like the key is Anthony Davis and Trey Young gotta stay healthy. I don't have as much fear of Trey Young staying healthy. It's the Anthony Davis of it all.
Yeah.
Uh, which I mean, obvious, right? How many years
Mm,
have going on? We talking about Anthony Davis and his injuries, right? It's been honestly a whole career thing.
yeah.
Uh, but I mean, they got Trey Young, which on this website they don't have it updated with AJ DeBonsa on here. But
Hmm.
of course, they got AJ DeBonsa coming in. He'll be the three. Um, at the two. I don't know what this lineup is going to be, but just the talent. I think they did a good thing getting the talent early, like you said with
Hmm.
the free agency stuff. They're not going to get Trey Young and Anthony Davis to sign there.
Right.
Trey Young will be like, I'll extend there, but y'all, I'm not about to just go. If I got a free opportunity to go anywhere, most players are not going to go to Washington.
Right.
Uh, and so I think that they could be a really good team. I do want to see what else they do. Let's see, cap space. How much cap space will they have? Well, they're already in the negative.
Yeah, I was about to say
So
probably probably not a lot after that.
they're not really adding much more. I mean, also when they traded for Trey Young and Anthony Davis, they didn't know they were going to get the first overall pick. So I fear that might have maybe not shifted their perspective, but they're like they weren't looking like, okay, maybe not Dylan, maybe Darren Pearson might slot well with having Trey Young at the point, have Darren Pearson in the backcourt with him. But then they're also going to just like, let's just take the best player available. Um, we'll figure it out later. Kind of similar to like the Spurs last year. They traded for De'Aaron Fox, and then later they ended up getting the second overall pick and getting Dylan Harper. If they knew they were going to get Dylan Harper, did they trade for De'Aaron Fox? Probably not, especially with the contract he has.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's like, hey, we're just going to take the best player available when we get to the draft. We're not going to not draft the best player because of Trey Young or Anthony Davis. Um, so I mean, it could be interesting for them. But the next thing I want to get to is still in thing to the draft. I want to ask you specifically about the Lakers guy that you guys picked up, Cameron Carr. How are
Hmm.
you feeling about that? Have you looked into his film and everything like that?
Yeah, I like the pickup. I like the pickup. It's something that Luca is specifically asking for, which is a 3 and D wing. I mean, that's what he does. He's not going to create his own shot. He can, for the collegiate level, it's a good respectable three. Obviously he's gonna have to work on it and improve. But he can shoot the ball, he can defend on the wing. So it's a good pickup. We picked up another kid, I believe on a two-way contract. Similar kind of play style to Austin Reeves, so we'll see what he does. The only thing I would have liked was to get a solid big, and I was really hoping for that. I know we was trying to trade for like in the second round to pick, but it didn't end up not going our way. It went to someone else. But just a solid big, just some kind of rotation kind of big that can come off the bench for us because I don't know the whole DeAndre Ayton situation. I don't know if we're trading for a different big. I don't know our big situation right now. So would have liked to see us get some kind of rotation big just so we can have something at that position. But I like the pickup. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, he has a $8 million player option. I think he's gonna go ahead and pick that up.
Okay.
But I mean, you guys did get Cameron Carr. I've seen a little bit of his tape. Very athletic, can shoot, and I think he's gonna be a really good player. Just a nice role player to slot next to Luca. He can cut back door and Luca can throw him a oop off the baseline.
But he
Or
has to play. The
he
the
does,
one the one
yeah.
thing since like Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and those guys, the issue I've always had with the Lakers is in the draft, we draft people and they don't play. They never play because we've always had LeBron, AD, and then we
Well,
have
to be fair,
Russ.
with the Lonzo, Josh Hart, all them, that was the young teams. I mean, they kind of all played, but since they since LeBron's got there, and you guys honestly were a contender for 2 years, in my opinion. You guys have thought you guys have been contenders since, and it's like you guys don't play the young players. But I think part of that has been like you guys haven't had like really good picks to get like the best of players, and then you
Mhm.
guys get players that need to be developed, and you guys don't develop players anymore. Um,
But like Dalton Connect in my eyes could have been like a really solid role player with a solid jump shot, and he has the size to be a solid defender. He just needs the reps and no development. You know what I'm saying? No development. So and
that
we don't play him.
that's the issue when you have LeBron in your team, that getting reps is no longer like LeBron. And not even that LeBron is like the primary thing now is Luca, but still similar type of like idea of like we don't Luca ain't got time for you to get reps. Luca needs you to make this shot now. LeBron never had time for you to make reps. He needs you to make that shot now. You still call Danny Green Danny Red to this day, right? But imagine a young player right there. You even be even more pissed. Um,
But I just personally as a Lakers fan would like to see some of these young guys get an opportunity to even show what they can do, to show if they can be productive, to show, what I'm saying, if they can contribute to the team.
yeah, I mean, if you guys had like more young guys, then only young guys you got are, well, I mean, Dalton Connect's not even young.
Right.
Uh, Nick Smith Jr., Bronny, and the Duke Thero,
Bron. Yeah.
and now you got Cameron Carr. I mean, those are young guys for sure. They're definitely young guys.
Yeah.
um, but I mean, hopefully he's not another Jalen Hood-Schifino. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my gosh.
that's the thing. It's like when you guys get a young player like Dalton Connect, honestly, shouldn't even be on the team. You guys tried to trade him. You know what I mean? Like y'all didn't even want him anymore. Jalen Hajapino, I think I seen he played like only like 20 something games for y'all. He's out the league. You know what I mean? Just like you guys just swings and misses, which is when you have a Luca, not that you should be swinging and missing, but it's just like, okay, you guys at least have Luca, right? It's not like you guys are trying to do a full rebuild right now. Um, but since we're on the subject of the Lakers, your guy got the contract. Austin Reeves signs a 4-year, $185 million contract.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
man.
that's about 45
About
a year.
46. They be these contracts be backloaded, but
Now
go
we
go.
talked about it, and me personally, I said I wouldn't give him anything more than 35. But I knew, look, this is why I'm not a GM. This is why I'm not a GM. I lowball everybody, right? Um, how do you feel about the contract? You think it's too much? You think it's just right?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I would literally. I'm perfectly fine with the Trey Young contract. I hate this contract. Now, I did see a report that said the Lakers were trying to go with like between that 30 to 35, but Detroit started pursuing Austin Reeves, which made them go up to the 46. Um, if we could have got him for 30 to 35, I mean that's perfect. I hate this contract. I don't love it. He's not consistent enough for me to for this contract. The other thing I hate about this contract is now if we really want to have a championship contending team, it forces one or two things. LeBron cannot be with us if he's going to take a max. If he wants like the most money possible, we're not going to have a championship contending team.
I don't even
Or
think you guys can afford to give LeBron a max.
and that's part of it as well. It's like LeBron's going to have to take a pay cut if he wants to play for the Lakers. So, and granted, I think LeBron's gonna have to take a pay cut anywhere he goes. I think LeBron hoping for the max anywhere is kind of just ludicrous. But, um, but yeah, I don't love his contract just because of the constraints it puts on the team when we're trying to contend. So I don't love it. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron honestly kind of you got. I don't say you got need a player like LeBron on the team. I think LeBron would fit well with this team still,
Mm,
but definitely not for anything more than $25 million. If LeBron wants anything more than 25, I think the
eh,
Lakers could get big.
I think 30 is fine. I think 30 is fine. 32, 33 is fine for what LeBron, because his numbers have been on a decline. Obviously, like he averaged, I think 20 or 21 this past year. So I think that'll go down under 20. I think he'll be under 20 this upcoming season. And so that's where I'm like 30 to 32 million. I can see 35 on the high end if but yeah, I don't know if LeBron's willing to sign for that much. So
Yeah, you guys still have a decent amount of money left, I believe, though. So hopefully you guys can figure something out because you guys only have 9 players in the roster currently. You guys are gonna have to figure something out there. Let's see.
definitely getting Tari's and a Lou Dort, one of the two. We'll probably end up with one of them.
And look, speaking of a big, you guys could have had Isaiah Stewart, right? He went to the Grizzlies for 3 second-round picks.
Nobody want to know Isaiah Stewart. He's short. He's not. No. We need a high flying big. We need a rim protector and high flying big guy that can move.
At one point, that boy DeAndre Ayton used to jump high.
Yeah, not no more.
Okay, but then so this trade happened a little bit out of nowhere, but not that surprising. The Timberwolves sent Julius Randle and the number 28 pick to the Brooklyn Nets to get Nick Claxton. He went to the Bulls. It was a money dump. They
Here's a
dumped
money
the
down.
money. The Brooklyn Nets had the money. They needed to spend the money. Um, and funny enough, I have a 2K league, my GM, whatever situation where I bring one of my players and put them in there. I ain't playing my career. Too many goddamn cutscenes. I just want to hoop. And I did a trade. I was like, there's somebody. I put my player on the Timberwolves. That point guard I got, put him on the Timberwolves. I'm just like, there's something about this team that needs to be shaken up. I also traded Julius Randle to the Brooklyn Nets. Funny enough. Um, and the trade really opens up a lot for Minnesota. But then this trade for me is more for Brooklyn because the Houston Rockets, we own Brooklyn's pick. And as you know, the draft lottery, the way the picks go is changed starting
Yeah.
next season where the bottom 3 teams, you don't want to be down there if you're not a good team. You want to be 4th to 10th, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nets were looking like they were probably going to be one of those really bad teams, but then they go and get Julius Randle, who, if there's one thing Julius Randle's going to do, he's going to put up numbers and he's going to lead to some wins in the regular season. Enough to where you won't be the worst or one of the 3 worst teams in the league.
Yep.
Plus, they still have Michael Porter Jr. They just drafted. Who did they draft? Was it Michael Brown? I think it was Michael Brown. They drafted Michael Brown.
Yeah.
Um,
They can make a little bit of noise. They win about 40 games, maybe
I, I, ooh,
pushing up on 40. I'm talking about more like 36, 37, pushing towards 40.
that's still. I think a good 28. This whole,
They getting above 30.
well, I mean, I 32. I give him 32. at max. Um, I really don't have nothing else to say about this trade. I mean, Nick Claxton going to the Bulls. Sure, sure. But that trade, as soon as I seen that trade, I knew Minnesota was trying to do something. But before they did the thing they wanted to do, they did give Sumu a 5-year, $112 million contract.
Hey,
I rock with Sumu, so I think that's a pretty good
that's a
deal for him.
perfect contract.
Yeah. What would that be? 112? What does that add up to? I'm bad at math. A little over wait, that a little over almost 25 a year, about 20-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Either way, this good role player money. But the trade to get Julius Randle out of there set them up for what they did today. The trade that happened about 12 to 14 hours ago. The Charlotte Hornets trade LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first round pick, and 3 first round pick swaps and 3 second round picks. Those first round pick swaps are just words because they actually aren't really nothing. But LaMelo Ball is going to Minnesota. And I didn't hear anything about it until the trade actually happened, but apparently last night at the draft, Shams was saying like, hey, the Charlotte Hornets are taking calls on LaMelo. And it honestly was one of them like it happened super quick, but like by the time we heard about it, they damn near already had the deal done. They just had to
Yeah.
finalize probably which pick swaps they're gonna, put out there and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of opinions about this trade.
What you
But
got?
I want you to start.
You want me to start? Okay. Um, I like, there's not a lot of, I don't know if there is a lot of this out there. I like the trade for both sides. Okay. A lot of people
Mm,
say, oh, I don't like it for Minnesota. I don't like it for Charlotte. I like the trade for both sides. I think this sets Charlotte up for a good future. Like this, if I was Charlotte GM, I would be trading the house right now too. I would think about I would definitely trade Miles Bridges. I think you could get something for him. I would think about trading Brandon Miller, but you don't have to. He's still young, but you right now would definitely trade Lamelo though because now you have a foundation for a great rebuild for the future if you know what you're doing. I know Charlotte does not have a history of that, but but I still love the trade with the capital that they got out of it. I love it for Minnesota because I mean they're starting five. I have it down here: Lamelo, Ant, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and then Rudy Gobert. I mean that's solid. That's a solid starting five. Now they got some holes to fill, on the bench. They got some holes to fill on the bench. They got some gaps, and they are a little bit smaller. Some people was talking about the size since they lost Nas Reed. That was it's just one guy. They're a little bit smaller, but that starting five I think is very solid. Uh, easy, and I think Lamelo and Anthony Edwards will gel really well. I think their game will flow with one another. I think it'll echo off of one another, and I'm seeing like a lock for at minimum 50 wins here. Obviously barring any injuries, but I'm seeing like a lock for 50 wins.
I want to start on the Charlotte side of things. So with trading LaMelo, well, first of all, LaMelo played 70 some games this year,
Hmm.
career high for him. And this was the best year they've had in years. Um, Definitely probably the best year LaMelo the team has had with since they got LaMelo. They had a few other years they made the play in, but the best year they had with LaMelo. Um, I mean, they had LaMelo healthy, they had Brandon Miller healthy. Um, Con Knippel had a great rookie season. They had Musa Diabate have a great rookie season. Um, or not rookie season. But just very solid year for them. A lot to improve. Honestly, I did not think that they would trade LaMelo. But I understand trading LaMelo after he had just had a year like that. You could sell high on him.
Yep.
Only issue is for me is that I don't think they sold that high. Now, the reason I don't think they sold that high is because I don't think they're done yet. Um, if I just grade the trade for what it was, which is Nas Reed and a 2033 pick with the second round pick, because pick swaps are honestly just, hey, if your pick is worse than ours, we take your pick. But if it's not, we just keep our pick. It doesn't change much. It's honestly just, it makes it sound better than what it really is. Because if the Timberwolves are better than Charlotte this whole time, then they don't swap picks at all. Only way they will swap picks is if the Timberwolves end up worse than Charlotte in 2028, 30, or 28, 29, and 30, which could be possible. I mean, we don't know what can happen in a few years in the NBA, right? 2028 is not next season, but the season after that. 2 years ago, when the was that the Celtics that won? Yeah, when the Celtics won the championship. If you would have told me, a lot of the crazy things that's happening in the league now, I wouldn't believe you, right? So I mean, a lot can change in a few years. And with them trading LaMelo, they got a $41 million trade exception, which is the largest in NBA history, which they can go and try, like, if they want to, build on what they were doing last year and go get a really good player this year. I don't know who that player could be, but if they want to do that, they absolutely can. They have $41 million to play with, right? So I mean, it's fine. I got to just see what else they're gonna do. For the Timberwolves side, I like it, but they're also still have a lot of work to do. I think overall, just the trade in itself, without knowing what teams are going to do in the offseason, I give both teams a B.
Yeah.
I think both teams have room to improve it, and if Charlotte doesn't do much with that trade exception, there could go down to a C. But I really do like this for the Timberwolves. See, the thing is, though, the starting lineup, you just named it. LaMelo and Io, Jaden, and Rudy. I do think they are a little small in that front court. And it's funny because like I said, I mentioned that my league I do, where I traded Julius Randle, and I actually did a bunch of 2K ass trades. I ended up trading him for MPJ and what's his name, Cam Thomas, because he was still on the Nets. And I traded for them. Now look at the team, I'm like, man, we need a power forward. I'm like, who would be the perfect power forward for this team? Julius Randle. So like they really need a power forward, but I think their issue going into the offseason was they really needed a point guard. I think Anthony Edwards was being very overly taxed with having to be the primary scorer and playmaker for the team. Getting Ayo Dosunmu definitely did help, but I think they were still in a very desperate need of like on-ball talent and shot creation and shooting. LaMelo brings all of that. Now, is he the best decision maker? No, but the ball doesn't have to be primarily in his hands like it was in Charlotte, where he makes all the decisions, right? The ball's still going to be in Anthony Edwards' hands a lot, but LaMelo can help set him up for better spots. And I think the biggest thing for me getting LaMelo is I think he can really help Rudy Gobert a lot. Part of me, when I seen the trade, I was like, what are they gonna do with Rudy? Are they gonna keep Rudy and try to flip him for something else? They're gonna keep him. I think they're gonna keep him for the foreseeable future, just because getting LaMelo, obviously, I mean, he's not the best defender, right? You still want to keep a really good defensive floor, especially once you start getting to the playoffs. I mean, you've seen the defense he played on Jokic. He didn't necessarily lock up Wemby, but I mean, are you going to get a better person to guard Wemby? Just, you're going to trade him for a person that's better at guarding Wemby? No. So it's like, it's better just to keep him. And then usually he has very, very bad hands. Usually. this past season wasn't that bad. It was bad, but we're on the scale of Rudy Gobert. For Rudy Gobert, it was pretty good hands this year. Um, if he sets good screens and cuts well, I think LaMelo will find him very easily. And then, like I said, they still got more work to do, but just based off of like the backcourt of LaMelo and Ant, I could see Anthony Edwards having a 30-point per game season this year. One of his more efficient years when he can just play off ball, cut, run in transition because they're going to have to play fast now. Anthony Edwards is not a transition player. He's going to have to be. LaMelo's on the team. Everyone's going to be out running. I know Io's going to run.
Melo still got that Chino Hills, man. He still got that Chino Hills in him. He running them hills
It's
out
going to
there.
be showtime. I really like. This is the thing with the offseason, like the Knicks just won the championship 2 weeks ago. When it's like I already can't wait for next season, just because I can't wait to see this Timberwolves team. So I mean, it's going to be real interesting. I can't wait to see what else they do because they still do need to do some. I think they might find a team that might try to take Dante DiVincenzo's contract just because if he's not playing for them, they're trying to contend.
You just get rid of it.
I'm pretty sure he's an expiring contract as well. Let me see.
Well, yeah, some team might take it. I do want to set this up because I when the trade happened, my initial thoughts for LaMelo, and we talked about this offline, was I believe that it puts him on a timer. It puts him on a timer to seriously start winning and not like playing winning basketball. You could score 30, you could you can have triple double, whatever it may be. But I'm talking about real winning basketball. I can give you another example of Westbrook, Russ. Russ been averaging triple doubles and all this and that, right? But winning basketball is what matters. You know what I'm saying? So I believe this puts him on a 2-year timer, especially with his contract going through 2029, how you had brought up. So a 2-year timer to really like, hey, winning basketball, or he won't be done, but then he's gonna get shipped. Right now, he was in Charlotte. He was in the abyss of the NBA. He was in that abyss. He's out of the abyss now. Win. You got to win right now. Within these 2 years, you have to win, or you're going to get shipped right back to the abyss of the NBA, where you can put up the highlights, but you're not really playing for anything. You're not really, no legacy, nothing to your career. You're getting paid, you're getting money. Congratulations, good job. But there's no real meaning to any of the basketball that you're playing. So he has to win.
I mean, to be fair, if he wanted to have legacy talks, he's too late for that. You got to start legacy talks like damn near instantly if you're going to, be one of the ones in the league. I think LaMelo can be a winning player. I think he can. I think this past year in Charlotte, being the best team he's had since he's been there, and the healthiest he's been, I think it showed that he can play really, really good winning basketball. I want to actually pull it up. His stat, like the Charlotte Hornets, were really, really good when he played specifically.
Yeah, he's used to being a winner. I don't, you know me, I'm a fan of the whole Ball family. He's used to being a winner. That's normally that's what he is accustomed to. It just hasn't been like that in the NBA for him.
Yeah, it was. We've been watching LaMelo for well over a decade now. I know he knows like what winning feels like, and I'm pretty sure all that losing doesn't feel all that good. Let's see. With him on the court, they were +9 in his minutes. With him off the court, let me see. Hold on. Net on. Net on. What the fuck? Either way, they were a worse team with him off the court. I can't find the exact stat, but they were a worse team with him off the court. And he's a really, really, really good offensive player. Obviously the maturity and because playing winning basketball and being a winning player are also two different things. I think there are players that are winning basketball players that are also like they're in bad situations where it's like they can't even show their impact. A player like Ayudasumu, who he got to
Oh
the
yeah,
Timberwolves, and you see, oh, he was in Chicago doing all that losing, but he is a winning player. Um, Lamelo, the thing with Lamelo is that you're not gonna get him to change his play style.
yeah.
Um, if anything, you just gotta mature his play style. And I
Hmm.
think that playing in a winning environment with other players that are used to winning will make it to where he realize, oh, he can't just goof around and all that kind of stuff. Because when he's in Charlotte, him being the guy there, and people are coming in and they're coming in already expecting to lose, and the team is already looking like, oh, before the season even starts, we're penciling Charlotte in for 40 losses at least,
Yeah.
and just count how many more they add to it. The Timberwolves, like you said, a 50-win team, depending on what they do, I predict 55.
And
I
that's
predicted
fair.
55. And I think that is very I think they're very capable of that. I really think I can see a situation where Ant and LaMelo sit down, have a conversation, and look, they're in the same draft class,
Hmm.
one and number three. They both had a conversation for number one. Honestly, LaMelo should have been number two, we're being honest. And they were 1 and 2 in rookie of the year. Um, they made their first All-Star team the same year. Like they were in sync for the first few years of their careers, right? Charlotte wasn't doing much, Minnesota wasn't doing much, but they were both bright spots in their teams. But then all of a sudden, you start seeing Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves make the playoffs, and you see him elevate his game. And the very next year, he
Hmm.
comes back even better, and he goes to the playoffs, elevates his game to the point where now the distance that I mean, at one point, I thought I was more of a Lamelo fan than Anthony Edwards, right? And even though I still like Lamelo, Anthony Edwards passed him a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I mean, them being the same age, I think could put into perspective what like Lamelo, like, hey, we got drafted the same day, same time, same age, and I've done so much more winning than you. Like Anthony Edwards has won more playoff series for the Timberwolves than KG ever did, right? Like he's a playoff vet at this point. He's been in the playoffs, made multiple conference finals. LaMelo hadn't even made it out the play-in tournament. I think this could be an opportunity for LaMelo to see a guy that's look. Ant likes to goof around. Ant likes to not be serious all the time, but he knows how to go out there, put in the work, and win. And I think
Hmm.
LaMelo can look at that and be like, all right, I can still do that and I can still win. And look, it's one thing, when he's the player on the team that got the most money. It's someone else with more money than you. It's like, look, all the nice cars and fancy stuff, you showing out and want to be the
Hey,
the vet to the young guy.
Minnesota. Yeah, it's over with. Minnesota PR team is in for it. They in for
Go ahead and chalk them up. Go ahead and chalk their
it.
fines up already. Go just send the money into the league
Yeah, they
already.
might.
Just
It might as well just. They might as well just pre-fine them. Like, go ahead.
yeah,
Let's
just
just send in like 100,000, and then we'll just
I
draw from
don't
that.
go ahead. Just send 1 million in, and whatever you guys don't spend, we'll send it back to you at the end of
We'll
the
send it back at the.
year. But go ahead. But yeah, I do think that Lamelo and Ant can join together, see an opportunity, be like, hey, listen, we got a chance to do something special together, and our games can fit very well together, and we could be box office. I mean, look, Minnesota, the young players in Minnesota, you got Ant, LaMelo, Justin Jefferson, Olivia Miles, they hooping out there in Minnesota.
Yeah,
So I
they
really
keep
like this for
going.
Minnesota, but like I said, they do need to get a four. Unfortunately, I don't think Julius Randle's coming back, so they're gonna have to figure a different type of player out. Maybe make it get maybe two different power forwards. They could split the minutes, maybe even three. That saying can
Hmm.
give you some spot minutes here and there. Someone that can play a little 4 or 5. Just because as good as Jaden is, he's not a four.
No, he's
Um,
not.
and you can't put anyone else there.
But it really just depends on who you're playing. Because in today's NBA, I mean, Jaden could be a four.
In the regular
But
season, he'll be perfectly fine. In the regular
yeah,
season, he'll be perfectly fine. Speak because like I'm gonna keep bringing up this my league, this 2K league thing, bro. I'm looking because I was trying to find a power forward, and I'm scrolling through power forwards. I'm thinking like, man, Aaron Gordon would be really good for them too. but they're not going to send. Denver's not sending
But
Aaron Gordon
yeah,
to
no,
Minnesota.
yeah.
If they will send him to Yucatan before they send him to Minnesota. Um, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but them getting Lamelo for a relatively low price, um, there's no way they could have got Lamelo any other way. It's like, look, we can go get like, because how are they going to make their team better? Before it was going to be very difficult. They kept Nas and kept Julius, but then it's like,
Yeah,
get rid of Julius, get rid of Nas, and bring Lamelo, and it's like the upside of having Lamelo and just trying to find a different power forward is way better than having other guys and trying to find a point guard just to kind of find a point guard is a lot more difficult than finding a big man that can do
yep.
the like all they need is someone that can rebound, play a little bit of defense, maybe even shoot a three here and there. That's all they need.
Hmm.
But the last trade we're going to get into was
Man,
the big one, which honestly was
the worst
very, very underwhelming for
for the Heat, not
okay.
for Milwaukee.
The Milwaukee Bucks are trading franchise icon, which I don't even know why he had to say all that, but I get it. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis to Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, as far as Jack shown is 3 first-round picks, which is the 13th pick this year, and one of them, a pick swap, a second rounder. Giannis is in Miami Heat. Yeah, Giannis is in Miami Heat. There's not really much else to say. It's like
That's
I
it.
want.
Yeah, Giannis, Bobby Portis, and Bam. That's their team.
I mean, look, they got
Norman Powell is
well,
not
Norman
coming
Powell's a
back.
free agent.
They can't afford him. Wiggins might come back.
They got Wiggins. They
He
got
might come back. Davion Mitchell, my bad. I
they
forgot
got
I left
Davion
out
Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell. And Scraps. Oh,
Let's see.
the Natchez is going. He probably gonna get kicked off the Bucks, and then he'll join up with his brother in Miami. So they got five. They got five people on the roster. You know.
I'm gonna say this. Giannis wants to go here. Okay. So this isn't a situation where the Heat had to make sure that they saved enough pieces to keep this competitive roster and everything like that. Try to see if they can contend. Like the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're looking to contend next year, right? So they made a
Yeah.
trade to see if they could still try to contend.
He would be
Miami Heat
lucky
are
to make
not
the
looking to
playoffs.
contend next year.
No.
I think if anything, they raised their floor just from having one of the best players in the league. So they might just default, which it all depends on his health, obviously, because Giannis last year was very unhealthy. Um,
He's been last couple years has been.
well, and I wanted to kind of tie because Giannis and LaMelo are similar in the situation of they both are injury prone players. Now, the thing with Giannis is outside of last year, obviously, last year was at least it seemed like um we'll see if it becomes a normal thing. Last year was the first year where the regular season was real with injuries. Usually it's the playoffs. Um, which is like, okay, you get Giannis, he should be healthy enough to get you to the playoffs, but then will he be healthy enough to play in the playoffs at this point? Hard to say. LaMelo one of the players where it was hard to say if he's going to play in the regular season, where you don't even know when we get to the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like I said, Giannis wanted to go to the Bucks, or he wanted to go to the Heat. So the Heat honestly didn't have to. I mean, they sent a lot, but didn't send much at all at the same time. Uh,
Really?
I mean, I think they sending Tyler Hero when Tyler Hero is getting paid. I want to say he had a contract extension for like 40-something million dollars each year. I know he's will be a free. No, he'll be a free agent next year. Oh, hmm. I take that back.
I mean, obviously, I
Well,
know they had to send pieces, but they
I mean, he was
they
the biggest
sent.
contract, right? And I mean, they've been trying to get rid of Tyler Hero for years. I mean, every person that's came up when they tried to get Kevin Durant, like, y'all want Tyler Hero? No. Oh, okay. When they tried to get Dame, y'all want Tyler Hero? No. All right. They tried to get Diamond Mitchell. They've been trying to get rid of Tyler Hero. if they were going to get a star, Tyler Hill is going to be part of it. So I'm not even tripping about him. And then I mean, Khalil Ware, he didn't even play that much. He's a solid player. I actually traded for him. He's on the Timberwolves in my league thing. I keep bringing him up.
He's a very solid player.
He's a very solid young player. But I mean, he's not like the Miami Heat aren't losing a player that they were relying on every single night. He had a lot of DNPs and a lot of like low minute games. I mean, he's 22 years old too. Which the Bucks get a bunch of young players. They get to, which I heard this earlier. So, like I said, Khalil Ware is 22 years old. He was drafted, I believe, 2 years ago. Kasparjak Shonis is 20 years old, and he was drafted last year. He's a point guard. So there's like, when you think about it, they got, was it 3 first-round picks? Which one was this year? And do I agree all the time? Not necessarily, but when a team trades other young players, they kind of count as young first-round picks. It's like he was a rookie last year. Like he's essentially a first-round pick for y'all. It's like, y'all just got to see a year of what he could do. It's very lackluster of a trade, if you ask me. Like when it happened, I was just like, "Wow, all right, Giannis is on the Heat now."
I wish he would. I just really wish he went to Boston. This trade is just I don't like it. I don't like the trade. I like it for Milwaukee. They get the picks. And they get some young talent. I mean, regardless Khalil Ware, some of those guys not playing much, under Spoelstra, but now they go to a team where they can show what they got, and I think a couple of those guys can really play. So, they get some young talent now. They get picks to be able to build a solid future, and then they leave Miami with nothing. Like Miami is definitely not competing this upcoming season. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if Miami gets anything above the 8th seed. And I'm being very serious right now. Like I would be highly shocked if they get anything above the 8th seed.
That's the thing with Miami is that even like every time they're in the conversations for getting one of these star players, whenever they like request out or whatever, it's like I never look at their team being like, oh, they're that one star player away. Because I always know one, they're gonna have to trade a decent bit of their roster that's never really that good anyways. So it's like because you don't have that blue chip guy, like for Tyler Hero to be your blue chip guy in a trade, it's just like you're not sending something to be like for the other team to really be like, oh yeah, you gotta trade that guy for Giannis. Like he's good, but like I don't know, the Miami Heat it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be
It's
rough.
gonna be
But
rough. And Norman Powell's not taking a pay cut. I doubt he takes a pay cut to come back. So you lose a key contributor. Andrew Wiggins might return. That's another key contributor that you might lose. He might come back. We'll see. And you left with Davion Mitchell. Like, come on, he's a backup. Who should barely be playing. You got old Bobby Portis. I mean, what is Bobby Portis really doing anymore? Right. So really, really, what it comes down to is Giannis and Bam. And Giannis can't shoot.
yeah. But for me it's let's get Giannis in the door and we'll figure it out later. I think especially for Pat Riley, he's getting up there. I think he's 84 or something like that. He's up there. This is his last hoorah of like let's try to go out there and compete. Exposure been coached for a long time at this point. For someone who is widely considered one of the better coaches in the league, he has a lot of years where he's not really competing for nothing. So it's like let's get Giannis in the door because which this year they're already kind of, which I don't know if this is fully updated actively. They're already at the max in cap, but next year, they'll have a decent amount of cap
Next year gets
space.
better. Next year gets better.
And I think for Giannis, I mean, he went to Milwaukee South, Milwaukee South Beach, but at least with this, it's easier to get people. It's easier to convince people to come to Miami than go to
Oh yeah,
Milwaukee.
yeah.
Uh,
And that's probably what they sold him on. I would
right.
I definitely believe like, hey, look, we're going to struggle this year, but next year is when we will be competing. Because yeah, I honestly I expect Milwaukee to be. I mean, not Milwaukee. I expect Miami to be the 10th seed. But with obviously if Giannis is healthy, Giannis and Bam, they both healthy. They have the ability to probably grab the 8th seed. Um, but in all likelihood, I have 10.
Yeah, it's one thing where I'm like, I just got to see more. Like I said, it was very disappointing to see, but it is one of the things where it's like it's reality now. Giannis is no longer Milwaukee Buck. He's on Miami Heat with
These
guys who have
jerseys is gonna be weird. This guy's gonna look weird.
yeah. I
LaMelo in the
mean,
Timberwolves, Giannis in the Heat jersey.
I don't think LaMelo and Timberwolves jersey will look as weird as Giannis in the Heat jersey.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
LaMelo is probably not gonna look that bad. Giannis in the Heat jersey is gonna look weird.
I don't know. Watching the Heat, all the Heat jerseys are kind of ugly to me, if I'm being honest. Anyway, I think it kind of just I don't like watching the Heat that much. Um, I mean, hey, look, free agency is already, which free agency hasn't even started yet. The off season don't really start for another week.
Yeah,
Um,
and Jalen Brown still could be traded.
yeah, with them, see, I really did think he was going to go to the Celtics, which I was going to be very surprised if Giannis got traded to the Celtics. Um, but because I know that there was the talk about like, okay, Giannis go to the Celtics, but then Milwaukee didn't necessarily want Jalen Brown. They're going to send him to the Clippers.
Hmm.
And Milwaukee went the 5th pick, but I don't think the Clippers wanted to call it the 5th pick, so they was like dead that. But I mean, I did see that the Celtics are still shopping Jalen Brown around. I don't know what they're going to get for Jalen Brown. He's been linked to my team. Don't know how we get there. I got a Operation Shingun for y'all if y'all want him. So I mean,
That's a Katie and Jabari, man. I told you.
give him Alpine Bari. I think that'll do it. But even if what we do with Jalen Brown and Kevin Durant? Do more losing? I ain't trying. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, look, the NBA is a gift that keeps on giving. It always keeps on our toes. So with that being said, I mean, do you have anything else for the? I mean, what day is it? Free agency starts the 1st, which is in less than a week. Next Wednesday is when free agency opens up, and I think the Giannis trade really opened the floodgates for teams to be like, all right, now we can start trading. And because once the Giannis thing happened on Monday, we've seen it's just been trades ever since. Teams were like, now
Yeah,
we can finally start moving things around since we know where that domino fell.
yeah. I think there'll still be some moves, especially once free agency open up. I think probably looking at Jalen Brown probably getting moved. Could be a sign and trade with LeBron. LeBron, for a sign and trade with LeBron, he signs with the Lakers and we trade him. Situation going on.
Wait, y'all
I
get Jalen
still
Brown?
no. Oh goodness, no,
Oh,
no.
oh,
Heck no, we
oh.
can't afford that contract.
I was gonna
Well,
say, like, how the hell y'all do that?
if they'll pay for if they'll pay the tax, what? But nah, yeah, I still think we end up with Lou Dort or Tar Eason, and yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's still going to happen. We'll see. The league is definitely already looks different next year, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
we always love to see shakeups in the league. New
yeah,
teams trying to improve. I hate teams just be stagnant when they like. If you didn't win
yeah,
a championship, even if you win the championship, don't be stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Keep moving, keep trying to improve. Um, and some teams, I mean, we'll see if they actually improve. I think the Heat might have gotten maybe a little worse. If I'm being honest. Um,
yeah. He did.
but we will definitely see. But all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Hard Truth Hoops brought to you by the Unapologetic Sports Network. We will be back soon, definitely before free agency or right when free agency happens to talk about all the different moves that the teams are making. Yeah, it's been a great episode. So if you guys would please like and subscribe if you actually made it to this part of the video, probably not, but we appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.